back and wins in game one, 15-12. They were down 11-7, Kirk, and then they ripped off 7 consecutive points to take control.
We see the stats 37-33, very equal, blocks 4-3. Aces, USA, that's the difference, 4-0. Too many service errors also for Brazil.
Hit by Stavertlich.
U.S. starting with Jeff Stork in the left back. That was a deep set. Actually, Stavertlich was out of sync that way. Usually Stork starts right back. They've started him left back to get a matchup they apparently want.
And a kill for McGraw. Now, Kirk, in that first game, Brazil looked like they were in control. Then the Americans settled down. In that international experience, you think the difference?
Well, I think certainly that's part of it. A lot of experience with this U.S. team. Brazilian team, they look great, Randy. They tend to make a lot of mistakes. They made mistakes at the end to cost them the match.
Ivy.
Nice play by Jeff Stork. He was calling for Brian Ivy to hit that ball. He has his on hand in the middle, and he puts it away.
9 kills already for Brian Ivy. Ruth Ivy. He's doing it all in the middle, Brian Ivy. 1-0 U.S.
Giovanni over the top again. Great lift, great snap over the top. I do like the way he hits the ball.
Oh, we saw a great hit on Ron Swervo for Holland, and we're seeing a few of them here for Brazil. And another service error. This one by Carlone. 11 service errors.
And that's way too many with no aces. That's the big number. No aces, 11 errors is way too big a margin of difference.
Why the Americans captured game one, 15-12.
Americans had 7 service errors, but they had 4 aces. That's a good ratio.
Well, DeGraw not favoring the ankle, so he appears to be healthy.
I think he tweaked it a little bit. You know, one of those things that hurts for a second. You walk it off, you're okay. It'll probably hurt him tomorrow.
And another service error. Why do you think they're having this much trouble?
They're missing serves.
Is it concentration?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen this team enough, really, Randy. Right now, I'd say their team is very up and down. Right now, they're down.
Ron likes to slam it from everywhere. He reminds me of a young Bob Samuelson when Samuelson would play and try to smash everything. When it's in, it looks great. When it's out, it's not so good. There's one that's very good.
Another look, shoot set behind the HUD, if you will, on the right side. Back row, through the block off the head and out.
Partee unable to clear the net.
It's a couple missed hits for Doug Partee. He told me before the match he needs some practice time. He hasn't played in a couple weeks. Might say why is he and his wife had a baby.
The Americans have had a baby boom. Here comes Ivy. That is dug by DeGraw. And Kanji with the kill.
Paredes limping a little bit. Brian Ivy kicked him on the way by.
Guillermo Paredes ran into Ivy.
I think Ivy ran into him, actually. Another service error. 3 out of 4 serves out of bounds, Randy. That's too many.
Score tied at 2. Again, the power of McGraw. When he keeps it in the field of play, he's about as good as it gets at killing the ball. But again, he has been inconsistent. He has 11 kills. Himmons! Quick popping that on.
McGrawn's going to get his 8th tonight, I have a feeling. Great pass. Timmons up early, the double quick. It's a play they missed on the time before he went to Timmons this time.
Lima with the tip. Mauricio Lima. Here comes Stavertlich.
Again, find hands. There's a pair of hands up there. Bob Stavertlich finds them, and he likes to tool off those hands.
U.S. leading by 1, up a game 15-12. Kanji is dug by Stork. Stavertlich from the back row hit it long. What about his ability from the deep court?
Well, that's not his forte, certainly. He's more of a control type hitter, good offensive hitter. Leave the deep stuff to Timmons and Ivy and Samuelson when he's in.
Another kill for Ivy. Well, Ivy's improved so much is his leadership. He talks to everyone. He's a settling force.
Well,
no longer a young guy.
Really, the positive part of the experienced players not being there. Ace serve for Timmons.
And Brazil's breaking down with the passing.
I told you, they look like they have a vulnerable spot, and it's their passing. As we see more games, we'll get a better feel for that.
With a win, the Americans will be in Italy for the Final Four in September of the World League. And it's brought back down by Negron.
Good play by Stork to keep that ball in play. You need some help from your back row guys. They must see that coming. You have to watch your setter's hands.
Right off the block of Negron.
You don't see him pop the ball too often. He got good heat on that one. Came through with a snapper.
Bob's having a very good match. He's digging well, as always, and he's pounding around those skills.
Of course, he's not serving so well right there.
No, you can't be perfect all the time.
He wouldn't tell you that.
I think he would.
No, he wants to be perfect all the time.
There's the first ace. Carlone with the ace for Brazil.
I like to see if teams do that more often. I think Scott Fortune is vulnerable to a short serve in front of him. Doesn't move his feet all the way forward as well as he should. That's a case in point. Doesn't move his feet quick enough. Ball drops down.
Timmons is worth point. Brazil, we're tied at 4. Carlone, number 5. We have another great middle in George Brito. And he hasn't even seen the floor to this point. Another service error by Carlone. Remember George Brito a few years ago at the World League when Brazil came in and
had a couple great matches here. Nice to have that depth, though.
Carlone eating up in the middle.
Well, when they pass well, they can go to the middle more. They've been going outside. Good pass. He goes to the middle. Good play here. He decides to go across his body. 10 kills out of the middle.
And there's Partee driving one down.
Basically the same play. Doug Partee goes across his body. Most middle hitters like to do that. Go across their body, beats the block.
This is power of volleyball at its best.
And worse.
And Fortune hit it wide. Opportunity there for the Americans to take the lead.
Scott Fortune sort of swung sidearm, easy for me to say. Swung sidearm, that's why he hit that ball out.
Timmons with the tip, nice play. Able to judge where the block was.
A lot of experience out there, Steve Timmons. He's done it all in volleyball. Can see everything on the floor.
Timmons, MVP of the '84 Olympics. In '88, he was the best blocker in the Olympics. Kanji ran into Partee and Stavertly.
First, a nice joust at the net. Stavertly got outside for the stuff.
Americans lead 5-4 in game 2 of the game. They won game 1, 15-12. You've been trying to for a long time. 5-4, the Americans lead. Kanji dug by Stork.
Smart play by Partee to go to Timmons.
But Timmons went for the off-speed, and he was hurt by Paulone.
That was a nice play by Partee. Having the awareness to know Timmons in the middle there. Goes high, didn't work out, but that's a play that will work out in the future.
Brazil looking for the tie. And another service. 15 service errors, and we've played just a little bit over a game and only one ace.
Errors over aces, the U.S. way ahead in that category.
Timmons work on Carlone.
Well, eventually he's going to get that cutback. He keeps cutting back all the time. Timmons took it away that time for the stuff in the point.
Big Red, a big factor. 6-4 U.S.
Great play by Stavertly that time. Dig, and he gets back ready for the hit.
Teams are scoring in bunches, Kirk. 7-4. Again, the passing breaks down. This time it was Giovanni.
Free ball.
Ivy. It's 8-4 United States. And George Brito will come in. Here comes George for Carlone. He was the one who was so impressive. He's only 6'3", but this guy jumps like Michael Jordan.
I think a lot of volleyball players jump higher than Michael Jordan, actually.
Lima with the dump. Mauricio Lima.
Natural right-hander. He really gave a nice whip with his left hand that time.
4 serving 8.
Nice duck by Stork that time.
And again, Skverlik using the block to his advantage.
Shoot set to the outside. Skverlik time and time again. Just by Stork's dodging. A little matador defense by Storker. Coverage.
There's Brittle.
But again, a bad
Brittle right through the block.
But again, a bad pass. You have to have someone besides the setter handling the ball. You'll take that as a coach every time from a serve.
Ivy. It all started with the Fortune pass.
Well, the thing I'll tell you right now, Scott Fortune, in the 2 big matches we've had, the CIS and now this one, he is passing nails. If he does that, this U.S. team will be very tough in the Olympics. Shouldn't say if, he's doing it now.
Good by Skverlik. Tanji out of the back row. A kind bounce off the net.
Well, you'll always take it as a hitter. You say, I planned it that way. I worked on that tape shot all week in practice. Off the tape, right in the court where no defender was.
George Brito serves it long. 16 service errors, money the Brazilians.
Yeoman's worked for Brian Ivy so far.
Americans starting to serve.
Well, but they can afford actually a few misses. They're serving tough, getting the Brazilians in trouble passing.
LeBron with a tough serve. But Brian Ivy, that opposite side attacker. And to the credit of Brazil, they're still on the point. Ivy got it on the sharp angle.
Well, Mauricio Lima makes a great play blocking and off the block. Great play by Lima. He gets it up with his left hand. They get it over, and as what usually happens, you give him a free ball. The U.S. puts it away, but nice defensive effort. You practice that play all the time in practice. Balls off the block, trying to make a second effort. Oh, Partee read that all the way. He just didn't get his hands over the net.
Paulon, very attractive hitter. Very quick arm swing.
Right now I'm watching Paulon and saying scouting. He cuts back every single time in the middle.
What do you mean by cuts back?
Goes across his body. He's coming in and he hits the ball from his right to his left.
And LeBron just hits the ball. Nothing fancy. He says, give me the ball. He's just going to pound away. 5 for Brazil. Serving 8. A lift on Stork. Point Brazil. 2 quick points for Brazil. Mauricio serves. And Ivy hits it long. Another point for Brazil. This is a streak that Brazil needed. Coach Fred Sterling, timeout. And you get a sense that it is Brazil that is coming back in game 2. Tremendous attack again by the United States, and it was Steve Timmons. Side out to the Americans after the Brazilians had scored 3 in a row. LeBron.
Well, U.S. had caught in a stack block that time where Timmons goes to the middle guy. 13 kills for Negron. With the caught in a stack, Skverlik could not get to the outside.
He is a sensational spiker, Negron. Oh, that time Fortune lost sight of the serve. We are deadlocked at 8. Along the serve again. Brazilian fans getting back into this match. Point Brazil, Tanji on the kill. 9-8 Brazilians. They've scored 5 in a row. They're dancing. They're going nuts in Brazil. You know, when this one's going back live, they're going crazy. But another service error. LeGrand works the first leg.
That's the same play they ran before. Negron out of the back row. Bob Staverly got him all the way that time. Drops his left arm in. Net cam shows it all. Stuff.
Nine apiece, game 2. Americans up again. And DeGron driving it off the block. His eyes riveted at the blockers as he took dead aim.
Bob Staverly never got his hand squared away that time toward the court, so it went out of bounds.
Ivy. Excellent effort by Stork to get it back to Ivy.
Well, Jeff Stork does that so well. He's 6'4", reaches well, reaches over the net, actually, to get that ball to Brian Ivy, who was up early. That's the key.
The fake to George, and then they go outside in the garage.
A little bit of a tandem. A little bit of a tandem on the outside. Takes to the 3, goes to the 3.5. That's what that was. Nice play.
15 kills from the ground. It's in. The Brazilians love it. They'll take the point. They lead 10-9. Timmons disagrees. Fortune disagrees. No yellow card.
You look to her.
Let's take another look.
You be the judge here. Can we see it? I don't know. Look out to me, Randy. It's right there. If it does touch the line, it's in. Any part of that line was in. It could have hit it. Hard to tell.
By an eyelash, the Brazilians lead 10-9.
About the plays in the offense, how to block. I would say stop Giovanni from hitting back across his body and take cross court on Negron.
Timmons roofed by George. Well, George has come in and he's ignited Brazil.
He's done very well. A couple of good hits. Now big stuff. They go out. They go to Timmons. Blocks right there all over it.
Here comes Timmons. He missed it wide. Point Brazil. Fred Sturm is called for Nick Becker. Becker, an excellent passer. Does he feel like his passing is breaking down?
Well, right now, Scott Fortune is struggling passing the ball a little bit. We just want to make sure Nick Becker is warmed up if he needs him to go in. Scott Fortune's been very tired. He said so. Long trip. He's been playing the whole time, so he could be worn out a little bit.
And a service error by Staverly.
Now, the U.S. team was down like this in game 1 and came back. Randy, we'll see if they can do it again. They must stabilize their passing. Receiver serve.
Sturm is now talking with Eric Sato, so perhaps that will be his choice. Ivy off the block.
Sato will probably come in to serve and play defense for Ivy. That's their normal switch. Either Partee or Ivy, whoever gets back there when they need it.
Sato in. Led all the matches in 88 in Seoul. His sister Leanne will be on the women's team.
Sato shanked his first serve when he came in. His only serve so far. Let's see how he goes.
Goes with off speed. He hit it out.
You can't do that halfway shot. You got to put some top on it. You can't have your back row sub come in and miss serves.
0 for 2 for Sauter. 11 serving errors for the United States.
Now you're allowed to drop the ball. The whistle blows. If you let it drop, you can pick it up and serve again.
This is it for Brazil. They need to win this match or they won't make the playoffs. Giovanni scores for Brazil. It's 13-9. Stork is blocked. Game point for Brazil at 14-9. Can you imagine a match in Rio? The way they dance?
What they're going to do, they're going to bring a sub in right now. Douglas, he's going to come in to block. That's it. He'll make one play, this service play here. They can get a block. That's why they bring him in. He bring him in for the setup.
Douglas Chiarotu. Timmons with the heavy heat. Good to have a veteran like that in a situation when you're down to go to.
Good to have a big arm out of the back row like that at game point against you. And the setter, Mauricio, comes right back in.
That one whistles wide. Pallone thought he had it, but it's a point for the United States.
Well, Randy, right in front of us, I thought it was out. Very close, but I thought it was out.
If the Americans can string some points together. They're down 10-14, but a service error by Stork. Now the Americans are making the mistakes.
Shows you how important keeping the serve is. You got to serve tough. You got to keep it in. Great
Fortune drills it.
Great save by Stork. Not a great pass, Stork. One hand sets it behind him. Fortune with the kill. We may see Becker in for Partee in the back row. They'll use him that way in the Olympics. Ball out of bounds. Ball was called out by the line person.
Yeah, but upstairs, Larry Lerbecmo called it good. Side out to Brazil. Game point number 3.
Player's not extremely happy right now with Larry Lerbecmo.
But at least he speaks English and they can communicate with him. He's from Canada.
Sometimes it's better they don't, Randy.
Fans don't agree with the call. And Partee throws one. Side out, U.S.
Good pressure setting by Jeff Stork. Going to his power. That time the quick set behind Partee. Doug Partee will come out now. Nick Becker, he'll come in. Good server, good back row player. He'll also be the first substitute in the swing hitter.
3 out of the last 4 serves by the United States.
Well, I'm sure Fred Sturm said, look, get it in first. We need to serve in here. Let our block work here. It is a good blocking rotation. Ivy Timmons and Stavertlich in the front row for the U.S.
Hanji. He hits a ton as well. He had 28 kills in one of the World League matches against Cuba in the playoffs. Game point number 4. Directing traffic, Becker watches it go wide. The Americans are hanging in after the kill by Stavertlich. And big red serve. George missed it. Point, United States.
I'd look for a timeout to be called if the U.S. scores quickly again.
Stork sets it to Stavertlich. Free ball, United States. Timmons with the rocket. Point, America. You're live at the San Diego Sports Arena. Jose Roberto Gomes with the timeout. Let's pause for this. You're watching playoff action in the World League, the U.S. and Brazil on Sports Channel. This game emotional. Brazil was ahead 14-9. The Americans have climbed to within 2. They're within 1.
Boy, the Brazilian team can really hit some rockets when it counts. Did the same thing in game 1. They hit some balls out of bounds. Now 2 of the last 3 hits out of bounds.
Brazil's in trouble. The Americans have tied it at 14. They're on their feet in San Diego. Paulon comes in. They'll try to slow it down. Talmo goes out. Talmo, number 15, came in for just 1 play. The U.S. looking to take the lead.
Timmons, good serving here to set this all up.
That one is hit long by McGrath. He's been erratic down the stretch. I'm kind of surprised they don't go to number 5 in the middle, Pallone, who's answered each and every time, or Giovanni, number 3.
Bad pass.
Americans can win the game. Here's a chance. Ivy! celebration. USA Volleyball. They were down 14-9, and for the second time tonight, they won 7 in a row. The Americans with the big advantage, but never, never count Brazil out. More on Sports Channel after this.